It is a common misconception that you are legally entitled to receive what it would cost to replace your vehicle. The only time that you are entitled to the replacement cost of your vehicle is if you have purchased a private auto insurance policy with that particular benefit. A collision with a tractor trailer will usually result in damage to your vehicle. Sometimes that property damage can be repaired. More often, your vehicle cannot be repaired and it must be replaced. If a truck driver caused your wreck, the trucking company or its insurance carrier is legally responsible for your property damage or loss. Unfortunately, most people do not have access to a spare vehicle they can use while waiting for the trucking company to take full responsibility. To make matters worse, the trucking company knows that most people need a vehicle as soon as possible so that the company can use that need to push accident victims into costly decisions. When it comes to your damaged vehicle, there are a number of costly decisions that can come back to haunt a person injured in a truck wreck. The first is allowing your vehicle to be repaired or junked before it has been thoroughly inspected. The trucking company will often try to avoid responsibility for the crash by claiming that the crash was not its truck driver's fault. They will accuse the other driver of everything from speeding to failing to use their blinkers to coming into the truck's lane. Sometimes the only proof that can refute the trucking company's false accusations comes from your own vehicle. A false accusation of speeding can be debunked by downloading your vehicle's black box. A false accusation of failing to properly use blinkers can be debunked by inspecting your vehicle's lights. A false accusation of improperly coming into the trucker's lane can be debunked by measuring the crush damage on your vehicle. In a case of death or severe injury, you should never solely rely on law enforcement to conduct a proper inspection of the vehicles involved in a truck accident. Over the past 25 years, I have seen too many examples of law enforcement missing important property damage evidence or failing to perform the necessary calculations. The second costly decision is to allow your vehicle to be inspected by the trucking company representatives without demanding that you get to inspect the tractor trailer at the same time. It should always be an if you get to, I get to deal. Just as there is important evidence in your vehicle after a wreck, there's probably even more important evidence in the truck. That evidence can disappear if you allow the semi to be repaired or junked before you can have it properly inspected. The first step to safely settling your property damage claim after a truck wreck depends upon the severity of the crash. If the truck crash resulted in severe injury or death, you should not allow your vehicle to be junked or repaired until you have consulted with an experienced truck accident lawyer. A truck accident lawyer is able to make a professional judgment about whether it is necessary to hire a private accident reconstructionist to come in and inspect both vehicles. Most accident reconstructionists do not have the training, experience, or tools to properly inspect the vehicles involved in a tractor-trailer collision. The experts who can typically charge thousands of dollars to perform such an inspection. If I'm hired by a person or family after a fatal or catastrophic truck crash, I will pay the cost of this type of expert inspection if I think it's necessary. And if I cannot successfully make a case against the trucking company, that is a cost that I do not pass on to the client. It is also essential to give the trucking company a chance to inspect your vehicle before it is junked or repaired, so they can't claim that you destroyed any essential evidence. The second step to safely settle your property claim after a truck accident is to take your own photos of your vehicle and the damage to your vehicle before it is junked or repaired. Obviously, this step is not necessary if a private accident reconstructionist is hired by you or your lawyer and they've inspected your vehicle. But if there's been no private inspection, there is no substitute for taking your own photos of your vehicle. Do not rely on law enforcement, your own auto insurance, or the trucking company representatives to take all of the vehicle photos necessary. Vehicle photos are not just important to prove who is at fault for the wreck. Vehicle photos can also be useful in documenting all of the damage caused by the crash, as well as the overall condition of your vehicle. Always err on the side of taking too many photographs. Take photos of all sides of your vehicle and take multiple angles of any dents, bent metal, scrapes, or scratches. Open the hood and trunk and take photos of any internal signs of damage. If possible, get the vehicle repair shop to put your vehicle up on a lift so that you can take photos of any damage to the frame or undercarriage. If your vehicle is unrepairable, make sure there are photos taken of the odometer, any rust damage, and any wear and tear on your vehicle's interior. The third step to settling your property damage claim after a truck accident is to understand what you are entitled to under the law. For example, under Iowa law, if another driver caused the wreck, you are entitled to be paid the cost to repair your vehicle or the fair market value of your vehicle right before it was damaged, whichever is less. You are entitled to the fair market value of your vehicle when your vehicle is, quote, totaled. You have three options for getting this payment. Number one, you can make a property claim with your own auto insurance policy if you have full collision coverage. Your auto insurance will then likely turn around and try to get reimbursed from the trucking company's insurance. Or two, you can make a property claim against the truck driver's insurance. Or three, you can include your property damage claim in your lawsuit against the truck driver, though this does mean that you will not receive any money for your property damage until your personal injury claim is also ready to be resolved. It is a common misconception that you are legally entitled to receive what it would cost to replace your vehicle. The only time that you are entitled to the replacement cost of your vehicle is if you have purchased a private auto insurance policy with that particular benefit. Knowing the true value of your car is vital when negotiating with an insurance company. That is the only way you will know if you are getting a fair offer for your vehicle or its repairs. Luckily, there are several sources you can turn to. The most obvious is your own trusted mechanic. You can also get the value of your car from websites like Kelley Blue Book or Edmunds. Another right after your vehicle was damaged in a truck accident is the right to a rental vehicle. The simplest way to get a rental car while you are waiting to see if your vehicle will either be repaired or totaled is to request a rental car through your own auto insurance policy if you purchased rental coverage. If you did not have rental coverage, the at-fault driver is responsible for reimbursing you for the use of a reasonable rental vehicle for a reasonable amount of time. Iowa courts have typically interpreted a reasonable amount of time to be the amount of time it takes for your vehicle either to be repaired or until you receive a property settlement offer after the other side's insurance decides to total your vehicle. It's important to realize that neither your own auto insurance or the other driver's auto insurance will pay for you to rent a car indefinitely after a crash. It will be very difficult to get reimbursed for rental car expenses incurred after you receive a property damage settlement offer. It is also important to realize that if you do enter into a property damage settlement for your vehicle, that settlement must include any rental car reimbursement. You typically will not be able to seek rental car reimbursement as part of a personal injury settlement. If you have any questions about the information I've provided about your vehicle damage claim, call my firm, RSH Legal, at 1-800-433-0283. It is a free call for anyone who's been injured in a tractor-trailer crash.